So here's where we are with the PC build and getting the XT-IDE controller card working. Didn't mean to hit that. I've moved the system over onto a different bench. At the moment I've got a 5 1/4 and a 3.5 inch floppy drive hooked up. VGA card, there's a floppy drive controller sitting back here, and of course a VGA LCD monitor sitting up here, if I can get the camera to stay on it. Working at a slightly different angle than normal, so things are weird. The system should boot at this point from floppy. And still got 256K of system RAM. Well, it seems to be working pretty well. It's accessing the floppy, and it should boot. So just I can hear the heads stepping around. So and we're booted to the floppy. So the next step here is with the XT-IDE card. We need to flash the ROM in it. I ordered myself a rail of 28 C256s, got them on eBay. Fairly cheap, actually. I was surprised at how cheap I got them with delivery. I don't know where the pin is, just plug the rail up. So we want to throw the 28C 256 into the card. We need to set the dip switches. I've got them set as follows based on the manual. I've got this dip switch here on the card, this guy. Strapped as following, on, the rest off, and that sets the address to 0D000 for the ROM. Along with the switches over here, because I'm using a 256K ROM, sorry, I've got the two 8Ks off. I have 8K. I have the, and I'm guessing at this point, I have the ENA on, and there's a write down here at the bottom that I believe needs to be off to actually be able to write to the ROM. The next step here is to install the card in the machine, making sure I get it in the right direction. Let's go ahead and boot the machine again. Oh. And on this boot floppy, I have copied two files I downloaded off the web. The XT-IDE config.com, which will program that memory for us, and the IDE XT bin file, which has the contents, the 8K contents that go into that image. So I should be able to run XT-IDE CFG. We want to load the BIOS file. Of course, now I've got to find it in the list here. There it was. So we're going to load that file. It's loaded it. So it's ready for flashing. We need to configure, or no, we don't. Need to flash. My EEPROM type is a 28256. The EEPROM address is D000, which was set by those jumpers. Let's see if it'll flash. See if I got the dip switches set correctly for flashing. EEPROM did not return the same byte that was written. EEPROM was not flashed properly. So I must have a switch set wrong. I may have the right switch in the wrong position. Let me see if I can change that switch without removing the card. Flash the EEPROM. Okay, I had a dip switch. My guess at the dip switch was incorrect, so what I had done is I had set right to off. Right needed to be set to on. So the red dots are where the side where I've pushed the little switch down. So there's my current switch configuration. Both the 8Ks are turned off, and it's writing the ROM. So this is a good sign. It's actually flashing that little flash memory. It's actually a really sweet design they've done here, because you don't need to own an EEPROM or ROM programmer. You can just do it right in the bus on the system, which is pretty cool. So while this is flashing, one of the reasons I'm booting off 3.5-inch media is I happen to have some 720K 3.5-inch floppy, bootable floppies. And I have this great little, let's see if I can get on camera here, this great little Dell floppy drive module. I don't know if you can find the part number on there or not. It's an FDDM-101. It's meant to go on a laptop. It's got a USB connector here, and this module supports 720K floppies via USB, which makes it pretty special. I found it on the web, ordered it. So with this floppy drive and these this floppy drive and these DOS boot, my DOS boot floppies on 720K, I was able to use this drive to write the ROM file and the configuration program directly onto this floppy. So I don't have a 5.25-inch drive in my Windows 10 machine. This USB drive worked just great on my Windows 10 machine for writing 720K disks. So it saved me a step, and that is the reason I've got the 720K 3.5-inch floppy down here, and I am running 720K media in it. So close dialog. It's going to reboot. It'll be interesting to see what we get. RAM test. Ah, sweet. XT-IDE Universal BIOS. I didn't find a drive, of course, because I don't have a hard drive currently mounted. So that moves us on to the next step. And that is, of course, a parallel IDE hard drive. So I believe I've got one here that I tested earlier that was dead. It wouldn't even spin up. I know I've got one. Got too many things sitting around here. Oh, there it is. So, floppies are falling everywhere. Too many stacks of stuff. So I've got a Seagate ST-32-120A. It sounded like it spun up when I powered it up. It's set to master. Let's go ahead and add it to the system. So, I believe the cable goes on that way. Make sure here. Shows pin 1 this way. Looks like we've got pin 1 over here on the card. The drive really isn't. Look for markings on the cable. So it's got a dummy spot where the key would have been, so I'll put it to the keyhole. Oh boy. Make sure I get the card in the right direction. Oh, isn't this fun? You're missing all the fun here. The cable's tangling and falling all over themselves. This guy must go in this way. We of course will need power to the drive. Now, next challenge I've got here is that the bootable DOS on the 720K disk doesn't have F-disk on it. I'm going to have to go back to the 5 1/4 inch drives and boot off a DOS floppy I know has F-disk on it. So let me swap some hardware around here. Pull this back out of the way. It's always fun. So back to 360K, double side, double density drive. So far I've had no luck with high density 5 1/4 inch floppy drives. Getting them to work on the system. I don't know if my drives are bad. Okay, that gets this. And let's take the hard drive. Power it up. It's fun doing all this stuff without a case. I think we'll go ahead and just sit it up here for now. Let me find my bootable floppy. This is a bit convoluted, so I'm putting a bootable 5 1/4 inch floppy in. Probably shouldn't have had it in the drive with power on or off, but I'm assuming it'll see that hard drive here when the BIOS comes around. Nope, it's not seeing the drive. Sorry about that. So there's the first problem. It's not seeing that drive. I believe the cables are in the right way. I didn't actually hear this drive spin up. Jumper towards power. Master is to the end away from the power. Master's to the end away from the power. This drive is meant for a keyed cable. I don't want to take a chance on hooking it up backwards. Oh man, I can't keep anything sitting flat. I had another IDE cable floating around here. It actually has the key pin in it. I'm presuming I could use to figure out orientation. To make absolutely sure I've got it right, but I'll be damned if I know where the cable went. Things up and vanished somebody quick. There it is. Okay. So this is a short IDE cable. Yes, it's got pin 1 towards the power connector. I'll try one more time, see if you can see this drive. If not, maybe this drive is hosed. Nope. That drive doesn't feel like it's spun up at all. Now, I have a couple other volunteers here. Maybe. Oh, good Lord. Oh, sorry about all the delays here. I cannot begin to fathom. There's another drive that was just sitting here 30 seconds ago. Looked right at it. And it's, of course, not sitting here now. Oh, this guy. Well, I'm going to go ahead and try this drive. Well, this might be the one I actually meant to try. Now Is this the one I just tried and gave up on? Sure as heck is. Well, I'm going to pause the video until I find the other drive. Okay. It has been found. Let's see. With DS, it is master factory default. The jumper is on DS. And one is in. The edge connector, I think that's pretty standard. See if this one will at least spin up. No, I don't feel that drive spinning. Is this a power problem? I'm extremely confused here. These drives spun up, I swear, when I tested them earlier, at least I thought they did. Oh, this is confusing. Just for giggles. Oh, come on, you can go in there. Nope, that's not spinning up. Have I got a hardware issue here? Well, confusion is the norm, apparently. Pin 1 is labeled pin 1. That's pin 1 to pin 1. I swear when I tested these drives earlier, I felt them spin up. I do not understand. this is rather frustrating. Okay, we're on to a third drive. This one I know has already got DOS on it. Well, this one spun up. Don't know what's up with the other two. I swear they spun up earlier. Let's sort the cables around. And found the drive. Let's go ahead and boot from floppy, except I don't have power on the floppy drive, so of course it's not going to spin up and run. Oh, this is just a house of cards here. There's power on the floppy drive. Wow, I am having absolutely no luck. Absolutely no luck here. And you're getting to witness it. Okay, it's seeing the hard drive. I want to boot from floppy. There we go. Yep, the heads are moving. It's booting from floppy. You can see the drive down here with the head stepping. Well, it was. There it went. Now, it took me a bit of time to figure this out earlier. The hard drive, the BIOS that was programmed into the XT-IDE card, has the first 4 drives marked as floppy, A, B, C, and D, and the hard drive becomes drive E. So I want to do a F disk. Oh, nope. Deny it again. Now, you know, this is just really ridiculous. Where are my... I'm at that point right now where everything I sit down turns invisible. Okay, on one of these 3 DOS floppies is a copy of F disk. I don't know which one, so we will try all 3. Not that one. Apparently not that one. At least I think it was on one of these 3 floppies. How about this one? Nope. Well, I know somewhere in this set of IBM floppies there is a copy of F disk. I looked at it earlier on whatever floppy it was on. Oh, come on. Obviously not on that one. Now there's 5 floppies. I have looked at the first 4. By power of deduction, it has to be on the 5th. And there it is. F. It's hard typing crooked here. It's a COM file, I assume. Hopefully there's room on the A drive. I should just get it copied onto that bootable. No. Amazing, huh? I just put that Write Protect tab on this disk 20 minutes ago. Now I get to peel it off. I want to put a copy of fdisk on it. Copy fdisk.com to the A drive. Copy fdisk.com to the A drive. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Maybe there's some humor. Insufficient disk space. Well, that was a total bust. We'll just run fdisk from the B drive. We're going to create a DOS partition. It needs to be the primary partition. Let's escape back out and let's delete DOS partition just so we go through the whole exercise and we get it. Delete primary. Yep. And there's no partitions on that disk now. Create a DOS partition. It's going to be primary. Use maximum available space. System will now restart. We need to boot from floppy again. We don't even have a system on that E drive at this point. Come on. You can boot. Format system drive E. And that should format the hard drive. Proceed with format, yes. Apparently not. Format, E colon, I must. Thought I typed a Y. Cool, I'll have to solder that little LED onto that card later so I can have an indication of disk activity. It was just there's a spot on the card here for an LED to be mounted, and I wasn't sure the orientation on this little reclaimed guy was correct, but it is. So it'll make a nice little upward facing LED indication. So I'll let this keep formatting. What's with these other two drives? I swear they spun up earlier. You know, I've got a few more old school parallel ATA drives in a box. Like watching paint dry here. This just take me back to the old days. I've actually got an MFM. It's an ST51 hard drive I wanted to use with this, but I don't have an 8-bit MFM hard drive controller. based on the sounds the drive is making. It's unhappy. Yep. See how many bad allocation units we have. Oh, it's trying to access the floppy. This is drive E. This is a nice long delay without the hard drive activity LED flashing. It's not mounted. Okay, there we go. E should now be bootable. So let me kick the floppy out, restart the system. And it's defaulted to the little 210 megabit Connor drive. Hey. Sweet. Well, we have a formatted hard drive with master boot record on it and enough to boot the system, so that's progress. That's nice. Well, or is it? Why is this hung here? I'm wondering if it's having a hard time reading with those higher sectors. Drive B, we're going to do this again, F disk. And we're not going to consume the entire disk. Break it up into two partitions. So let's delete the partition we created. I want to create a DOS partition. Primary. No, I don't want to use the maximum space. We'll make this one 100 megabytes. First half of the drive. Now we want to create a logical. Create the extended first. Yeah, consume the rest of the disk. And we want to create a logical within it. And we've now partitioned that into two drives. And let system reboot here. Pretty exciting, I know, booting from floppy again. And it's actually created 100 meg and 103 megabyte set of partitions on this 203 meg hard drive. Format, system, E. Hopefully this will finish formatting without the errors we saw before. Seem to be all up towards the probably inside tracks of the drive, or possibly the outside, whichever side, I'm not sure, but there seem to be a group of them clustered. I'm just wondering if the long pauses I'm seeing in disk accessor because it's getting read errors. and retrying, or it's just a really slow machine and I'm not used to a slow machine. Let's pull in the system off. So this was drive E. There's no format errors on it, which is what I wanted to see. And we should now be able to boot from that hard drive. This is interesting. The BIOS is the anonymous BIOS, which is, you know, public domain open source. The XT-IDE. Oh, I didn't. No boot sector found. Okay. Did I not format it with /s? No, it's pretty exciting. And it's sitting here booting. Clunk, clunk, clunk. I need to tighten that mount a bit. I'm confused. Did I mark it as the... I may have done something wrong with F-disk. I don't remember. Do I need to mark it with the master boot record? I haven't done this for a long time. Not ready, reading drive D. Why are you trying to read drive D? I don't have a drive D. Something really bizarre has happened here. I'm going to cycle the power. That was rather weird, whatever just happened there. I know there can be up to 4 floppies, the way this is put together. I'm confused as to why it was trying to look at drive D, which would be a floppy. E is there. Must just be really slow calculating the free space. That delay is pretty crazy. To drive B. What is going on? You saw me run F-disk before. I am very confused here. You just love it when things get so weird. So what is on this floppy? I don't understand why it's trying to redrive D. Unless it's that unformatted partition. Ah, interesting. Okay. Set active partition into the partition you want to make active. 1. Okay, it's now active. That's why it wouldn't boot from it before. Escape to return to F-disk options. Display partition information. Hopefully now it'll boot from the hard drive. "24 minutes in this time around, and we still haven't actually seen it boot sector found. Yeah, I forgot to mark the drive. Put an MBR on it, so. Okay, dir DOS, CD DOS. No. Copy A : start building out a DOS hard drive here. Anyhow, there it is. We have put a ROM on the XT-IDE card. We've set the jumpers. Figured out set where it works. It's got the default address of D000. We've written a blank ROM to put the BIOS code into. The machine boots and runs the BIOS. We found in the 3 IDE hard drives I had, one of them. I keep calling these PATA, they're IDEs, sorry. These IDE hard drives. Boy, now I'm confused what kind of drives these are. Anyhow, yeah, they're IDEs. What am I saying? Wow, brain fart there. We've managed to partition the drive, get DOS installed on it. Boot from it, etc., and got to the point where on the little PC here, the little PC clone from MTM Scientific. I think this project at this point is about done. I need to find a memory card for it. Kick the memory up above 256K. I still don't know what I'm actually going to do with it, besides just play as I am here. Anyhow, I hope there was something fun in this series of videos for you, and I'm sure I'll be back next time I do stuff with it. Bye.